Good morning, good afternoon, beloved community. Thank you for being here. I am Vesna from Visions from the New Earth. Today I have a beautiful, spiritually inspired woman. Her name is Jodi-Anne. Good morning, Jodi.
Good morning, Vesna. Thanks for having a chat.
You're very welcome. It's 9 o'clock here in Adelaide, South Australia. So we have a very rainy and wet day. So today I wanted to bring Jodi-Anne to this beautiful conversation because on Sunday, the 20th of June, we will be gathering with Jodi-Anne, John Carpenton, and Kerry Emerson and myself for facilitator to bring together for you, people here living in Adelaide, a gathering to celebrate and tap into the energy of winter solstice. So a great opportunity to reflect, to go inwards. And it's kind of like we're now going into the winter months. And for me, this is sort of like the end of an inner personal journey. So going into the depth of the healing of the inner work exploration to then emerge into spring. And that's where you're going to share a little bit, Jodi-Anne.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, it's like hibernation, restoration, renewal. So it's like, thank you, winter, a chance to actually go within and recharge. Yeah.
I totally agree. And when you approach winter with that sense of gratitude, because, life becomes a little bit slower, thanks God.
Yeah, it's like permission. Thank you.
That's right. The days are getting shorter. It's colder there. So we tend to have more time and space to go inwards, which is so important. And before heading into this juicy conversation, I'm going to read a bio. So the people watching this conversation get to know you. So Jodi-Anne is a well-being educator and healing facilitator, specializing in helping people heal from trauma and abuse. Jodi-Anne starting her career as a sustainability educator. And throughout her research, and I love this part of your bio, Jodi, she realized that in order to get a scale behavior change when it comes to sustainability, what we need to do is to help people to heal the reason for living unsustainably, to heal the hurts and wounds that lead to addictions, overconsumption, and living life beyond, what our bodies are happy and designing to do, living in sync. For me, this is living in sync with nature, living in sync with what your body tells you. So I absolutely love that part. Jodi-Anne is the author of 2 books. One is called The Healing Journey, Demystified, Achieving Sustainability One Heart at a Time. And her most recent book, it's called Advice from a Higher Source, Channel Messages of Love and Support Through Life's Challenging Moments. Wow. I love it. And I'm very curious about those 2 books. So at the end of the conversation, Jodi-Anne, if you could please send me the link so people can have access to those books. They get to know more about you. So I'm going to put that information in the comment section below.
Lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. So welcome. And it's very exciting to me because I'm not very familiar with what you do in terms of what you're going to be facilitating during the winter solstice, which is family constellation. So if you could tell us about what this method and therapy is all about, that would be great.
Sure. Thank you. So family constellations is a process for exploring a chosen topic. You might look at illness, you might look at difficulties in relationships, you might look at issues with your children or your parents. It could be anything, but you choose the topic and then you actually map out the elements involved, which is why it's called a constellation, because you actually use, in a workshop, you would ask people, will you be my mother? And you place them in a position in the room Will you be my father? Will you be my sister? Will you be my brother, etc.? And you form a map on the ground of the current relationship dynamics so that you can see what's occurring. It shows you whether there's dysfunction. It shows you whether people are too close, enmeshed, or entangled. And then you use the constellation process to shift those dynamics to gain insights and healing so that people can be in a healthier position in relation to each other. And so it's beautifully powerful. And the constellations part is like with the stars, we see maps in the stars, constellations. And so that's where that term sort of came from. But it's so deeply healing, because while you might not be able to in your day-to-day life have that deep soul felt conversation with your parent or with your partner, you can do it in a constellation, and you're actually channeling the messages, the information from their soul. And so you're connecting in at that heart-to-heart level to enable changes that then ripple out into the real world, because you're changing your feelings towards the person, how you hold them in your heart, by changing that dynamic, and that ripples out. And so, of course, energetically, we're all one. So even though they may not know what you've done, and they certainly weren't present to it, it actually does impact them and shift the way that you relate. And so it's wonderful to see the healing that comes about for people to have an easier, more enjoyable life with hopefully healthier relationships within themselves and with others.
Sounds really practical and down to earth to me, because it has that element of becoming more tangible. Like you have a person and that person becomes, a family member. So to me, I'm visualizing this moment where I can see the person, and that person is happy to be or play the position of your mom, I guess, for example. So it has a kind of more tangible element. Would you say that, Jodi-Anne?
Yeah, I love that you said that, because most people think the opposite.
Okay.
Because I love that it has that element of the mysterious in it, because you really are connecting in to the energies of our souls, in the sense that the person that you ask to be your mother knows nothing about your mother, doesn't know her attitudes, her behaviors, her background, her traumas, her histories, but somehow that person channels that information and will react and respond in the constellation just like your mother does. And you can enable that healing. And for some people, like if they can't connect in with the parents and they're feeling unsupported, lost, alone, all of those kinds of hurts, we bring in the ancestors back from the point of source, from creation, all your family line, so that they're there supporting you, and you can feel their love and their strength and their wisdom and their wish that you do well in life. And so you end up feeling strong and supported instead of being alone and isolated. And so even just doing that is so powerful for us to then be able to have the strength and to feel safe enough to look at what needs to be looked at, to feel and release the emotions, to heal the patterns, so that it can start to drop away and you can walk forward in a different manner. So yeah, it's wonderful experiencing the beautiful synchronicities as well, because quite often the person that you ask to play your sister, for instance, may actually have that same dynamic happening in her family, and she'll be like, oh, that's how I am with that, with that person. And so everyone gets healing, whether they're the client, whether they're participating, or even if you're just watching and holding space as the container, the witnesses. Because human nature, we've all got similar issues, just slightly different flavors, as it were, of the cake. And so, yeah, you get to see the dynamics play out and to understand why people behave the way that we do. Because quite often, understandably, if we've been hurt by something, we tend to form beliefs and assumptions about it and about the other person. and we don't necessarily see their perspective or why they might be feeling the way that they are. And what constellation enables is that connection to the heart again, to open up and have that empathy for each other, which enables you then to share from the heart and have that, you know, that release and that movement forward. One example that's popped in that was actually from a Constellations workshop that I did at the Farm for Wellbeing at Jones Place, was with a beautiful young lady who was heartbroken that her family overseas had not disconnected fully from her, but she felt they'd stepped back and weren't, in great connection with her anymore. And she had emigrated here to Australia, was now living a new life, but feeling that real depth of loss and grief around the disconnect. And she was about to go back for a holiday and was hoping that they'd be able to actually find that closeness again. And when we did the constellation, and she had great concern with her sister in particular, because they'd been very close, and so it had hurt, so much to then be apart. But when we did the constellation, it showed that her sister had such deep love for her, but the sister had felt betrayed because she had left and gone overseas. So they were both feeling the same thing, like hurt, rejection, loss, betrayal, disappointment, etc. And when they could actually talk heart to heart and express their love for each other and reconnect, it enabled that healing to occur for them to then be able to come closer. And so it's just so beautiful seeing those resolutions, come together.
Yeah. Wow, so profound. So profound. And I can see that that opportunity to allow compassion to come through, because you have, again, that moment of seeing someone, if you had this person that you probably don't know, and she is being your sister right now, being able to look at her eyes, and face to face, and that opens up, that energy of compassion, understanding, being there for each other, connecting heart to heart. And that's when the real healing happens, huh?
Yeah. And, exactly as you started out reading that bit of my bio, because I started off as a sustainability educator trying to get behavior change, large scale behavior change across society. And I kind of realized, as I went along and for my own journey, that it's our wounded hearts that keep us stuck, that keep us small, that keep us hidden, that keep us comfort eating and, and ending up unhealthy, that keep us isolated and not working together as a community, a village, a tribe. And it's like healing these hurts enables that healthier way of being within society, but also within ourselves. And because the solstice event is only a short, 90 minutes with the constellations, I had to choose a particular kind of focus for us to work on. And what I decided, or what felt right, what came to me, was to actually look within. So rather than doing the constellations like we were just talking about, which you do either as an individual appointment or as a workshop, like a whole day workshop, what we're going to do for the solstice event is internal constellations. And so you can actually map out, put up the different elements of what's occurring within you. And so I want to look at our defense mechanisms, the things that we have developed from childhood that no longer serve us, that we have difficulty letting go of. So for some people, it might be, and we can refer to it as the dark and the light, the shadow and love. And for some people, it might be they stay small, they hide rather than stand in their full potential or, asserting themselves. For others, it may be puffing up and trying to be impressive and big so that they get accepted and, and feel cared for and worthy. For some, it can be a doormat, letting yourself get used and taken advantage of by others because you're so that inner child, that wounded part of you, is so desperate for love that you try and get it from anywhere, instead of stepping into assertive boundaries and appropriate relationships for you that support and nurture you. So it's like, I'm going to take people through a guided visualization to get into connection within themselves, into what pattern or dynamic is still occurring for them and no longer serving them fully. And then we'll do some work to actually start shifting that. And that will involve some constellations, working as small, as a group constellation. But what we're going to do is like put up the dark and the light, and have a messenger, so that the client can actually see and feel energetically and emotionally where they are in relation to those two, and to actually gain insight into why that defense mechanism or that dark or shadow is there, how it's serving them still, and then start to acknowledge and give gratitude for the help and support it's given, because it was there for a reason. It helped you survive. Just that now as an adult, you may no longer need that protection. You know, you no longer need to hide or stay small, or to be so busy rushing and doing that you're always exhausted. So it's like, we can give thanks for that, but we can choose to actually let it go now, to release it and to step closer to the light, or the healthier version of that defense mechanism. And the messenger will help us to understand why we developed that and what we need to do to move forward. So that's what we're going to be exploring and playing with. And it should be fantastic. It should be really insightful. And, you know, I hope people find it really powerful and beneficial. So, yeah.
I love it. I want to be there, even though I will be facilitating there. So I don't know. We'll see. So thank you so much, Jodi-Anne. I really appreciate your time and so clearly explaining what family constellation is all about, how people can, you know, get deep, you know, insight into their, you know, inner selves, and from there grow. Yeah. So, and to all of you watching there, you're welcome. And to all of you watching there, I really acknowledge your courage and your willingness to do this work, to heal from the inside out. Because as you say, we are energetic beings. As we heal ourselves and we grow and we evolve, we emerge, you know, we come into the fullness of we are, to the realization that we are pure, whole, innocent, beautiful, glorious. That creates a ripple. Woo! I felt that. That creates a ripple effect, you know, within your close family, extended family, community, and the whole humanity. Like we don't need to change other people. We start within ourselves, and this is what this gathering is going to be all about. You know, Kerry will offer the sound bath, you know, to soften our heart and get prepared and ready to allow this work to happen. I will be taking you to the depth of the soil, into the womb of Mother Earth, to feel your dreams and visions so that they can emerge into spring. And Joanne will do her beautiful walk through, I believe it's going to be a very mindful walk, visiting the labyrinth. So it's going to be a magical, transformative, and very nourishing gathering. So we really love to, if you could come along and be together during this day. Thank you.
And celebrate, you know, celebrating life, isn't it? It's like that safe container to actually show up, be yourself, feel what needs to be felt, and step into your light. It's like, real celebration. It's bringing sunshine into the darkness of winter.
I love that. And what a beautiful opportunity to do it as a community, as a group, because, you know, as Joanne always says, you know, we grow stronger together.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's right. The time of isolation, the times to do things on your own, that's over. that's over. So,
and even that in itself is so healing for people to realize, oh my God, you feel that too? Like you've gone through that too? Like it's not just me. It's not that I'm broken or flawed or wrong or anything else. It's like, oh my God, that is something that's actually common. And that is liberating in itself, just to feel that community and connection and to realize that, yes, you can heal from it. Yes, you can move forward and have that freedom in your life to step into who you fully are. So, yeah, beautiful.
Such a beautiful reminder. So thank you.
Thank you, Vesna. Lovely chatting with you.
Yeah, lovely to have you here, Jodi-Anne. And I'm going to put also the link for the gathering on Sunday, the 20th of June, which is going to happen at the Farm for Wellbeing in the Adelaide Hills, and also the links to get access to Jodi-Anne books and her website and all the work that Jodi-Anne does in the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, many blessings to everyone.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.